Hey friends and fam, this is Simply Rob Vassilarakis, spokesmodel for the 2022 HIV Stops With Me campaign, coming to you from Washington Heights and Uptown Manhattan with the September 2022 question of the month. Do you feel that being an HIV Stops With Me spokesmodel can be a heavy burden? Why or why not? So I do not feel that being an HIV Stops With Me spokesmodel can be a heavy burden or a burden at all. However, I do see it as a responsibility. This is my fourth year in the campaign. Each year that I am invited back, I make a commitment, to stand in my truth and be a power of example. And so, while I'm in this commitment, and even after my tenure is done, I will still be associated with the campaign. And so I feel that part of the responsibility is to, be my most authentic self, stand in my truth, live my best life, and, and in that, be the best possible representation for the campaign. The other part of the responsibility is in aligning myself with the mission, which is in part to educate, around facts about HIV and AIDS and transmission and treatment, to dispel myths and correct misinformation, to fight back against stigma, and just, like I said earlier, be a power of example, to touch, move, and inspire others the way that I have been touched, moved, and inspired by my predecessors who have stepped forth and spoken their truth so unapologetically and boldly about being HIV positive and living a long, healthy life, particularly during a time when I didn't have that voice. And so I can only hope that I can serve as that type of inspiration, that people will look up to me, and that I will one day serve as an inspiration for them to find their own voice if they're living in silence or darkness or suffering in silence around their HIV status. Because it's 2022, HIV has been around since the early to mid 80s, and there is no reason why we should be so gripped with shame and fear and stigma around an HIV status, So with that said, I do see it as a responsibility, not as a burden, but it's a responsibility that I am proud to assume, and that it's a responsibility that I am proud to carry out each and every day that I'm involved with the campaign. So with that said, if nobody told you yet today, let me be the first to say, I love you, de corazón.